Hey everybody, I am Ronnie Sanders of Power Music Radio. And you can tell I'm always excited. I can tell you that ahead of time, but let me tell you about Power Music Radio. We are a 24-hour internet broadcasting radio station. We play R&B, Southern soul, gospel, jazz, neo soul, alternative music, a little bit of everything for everybody. And also we are passionate about the community and about independent artists. Now, we're passionate about our traditional artists, but independent artists, we are always happy to be another platform for them to showcase their music. And that's the same for the community. There are so many fantastic people out in the community who are doing things that we don't know about. So Power Music is always excited to get to talk to some of these people out there. And on screen, I want to introduce Leonardo, right?
Yes.
Leonardo A. Watson. Leonardo is an author and he is from the Hartford area, correct?
Yes.
And a local person. And we are going to talk to Leonardo about a book that he has published called Dimensions of L.A.W. There it is. And you guys got to listen to this interview. It is going to be fascinating. So first, I'd like to say, Leonardo, it's a pleasure, and I can call you Leo.
Yes.
And it is a pleasure having you here with me today to hold this conversation. And I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you. Let's, start with that.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Ronnie, for just giving this opportunity to converse with you and just share my work. I'll just give you the quick summary of who I am or why I'm here. I'm currently a principal in Hartford Public Schools at proud principal of Thurman L. Milner Middle School here in Hartford, Connecticut. I immigrated here actually from Jamaica when I was 12 years old. And I'm a product of the Hartford Public School system. I'm always proud to say that. Through education, something that I learned early, that was going to give me my path to success. That started with one of my dearest and, closest cousin who helped to raise me in Jamaica, really instilling that value in us. And coming here to America, going to middle school here in Hartford, Fox Middle School, going to Weaver High School. And, I was able to earn a full academic scholarship to Providence College, went there, did very well, and learned a lot. Learned a lot. I always say to people, I think I learned a lot more outside of the classroom during my college experience that I actually did during the classes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those experiences that kind of shape some of the pieces that I wrote in this book. Fast forward right now, like I said, I'm a principal. I'm the proud and happy father of three children. Two of them are pretty much adults, and then I also have a 9-year-old. I talk about him a bit in the book as well. But my wife has always been an inspiration. Her name is Sajine, and she's also one person who's been inspirational. My mom Sharon, she's in the area. She lives in East Hartford, and my two sisters. Those are some of like the closest women to me who has been definitely inspiring. Since I've been born, and still existing here. The other thing about me is I'm always an optimist and a realist at the same time. I don't really believe in blind optimism either. So I think that's very positive. Always try to look at the glass half full. But again, I said I am also a realist and really look at situations different levels and from different perspectives. My work, love education, love, joy, love, seeing people happy in a joyful mood, good vibes. Actually, one of the one of the sections of the book is actually mellow moods and good vibes. And just, really, you know, um, if people are being inspired by what I'm doing and what I'm saying, a very humble person. and very hard for me to take credit. Or people say you need to do that more often, but just really love helping people, putting people, to the next point that they need to be in life.
So now, when you were coming up and you went through the education system, you went to college, was it in your mind to be an educator, or did you have other plans for yourself?
Yeah, interesting you asked me that because I actually went to college on a three, what they call it, 3-2 scholarship. So I went to college on an engineering scholarship. For I got a scholarship to do a 3-2 engineering program with Providence College and Columbia University.
Hmm.
What I learned within my first year of college is that money don't motivate me, and I really have a mind of my own. So I was always a smart, always pushing myself in high school, did everything under the sun to ensure that I got a great scholarship to go to college.
Hmm.
And a lot of people tell you, you can become an engineer, a doctor, or something of that sort. And my first year, there's two things. Number one, I found out that engineer wasn't hard for me, but it was the connection to the people that I had to work with that it wasn't fulfilling. And I remember taking one education class, and I said, "Wow, there are a lot of different type of people in college based on your major." And I had an experience that I did some internship hours at a local elementary school in Providence, Rhode Island, and it just seemed so natural to me, and the smiles and the laugh I was able to bring to the students' faces was like second nature. The other thing also too, I've always, in like summer jobs I've had throughout my high school career, I've always like worked with children at a camp or something of that sort. So it seemed kind of natural fit. The other thing, and this was the other decision, I said to myself, as an engineering student or as an engineering major after I graduate, I was going to be pretty much on the road a lot, right? A lot of traveling. And it was it was one of the things that I actually wanted to get away from. While we were in high school, I have a single mom. We moved a lot, and I think that had that had a huge impact on me.
Hmm.
Moved back every 6 to 8, 10 months, and kind of kept same schools, but just kind of different environments. So, one of the things I said, an engineer, I kind of did a lot of work, and I kind of know, first entry level jobs, require a lot of traveling. So, between the people I met, what made me feel more fulfilled, kind of made a decision to go into education, and I think it was the best decision I ever made. I know it's the best decision I ever made in my life.
But the type of energy I've heard when we've had those few conversations, you are definitely right. Everyone, I'm going to tell you that the energy that Leo has around those kids is something that is so desperately needed and so welcome. Because a lot of times in education, you get a lot of people who are burned out, and they're there for the job, and it's not about the students. So to see someone who is so involved with their students and who enjoys it, when I've talked to you, the energy in your voice, and you've described some of your days, and to hear that energy still going on, and it's late in the evening, it's just a pleasure to hear. So you are definitely in the right spot.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, listen, I think one of the times also we talk, I was in action, in action during the day, and it just brings me pure energy. I'm be honest with you, So first thing I like to do in the morning is be around students. It brings me pure energy, and just seeing people learning, because I know where it could bring them, and when when something bring you joy, I'm not going to say it makes the job easy because it's not an easy job in education. But
Mhm,
I always say it makes it much more manageable.
mhm.
Something to look forward to.
So Leo, you mentioned that you discovered that money doesn't motivate you. And, especially I think in this era, it's all about money. Everything that people do, they will, put themselves into situations that surely they're going to regret years on, but they'll do it because of the money. So what was your defining, light bulb moment that said, it's not about the money, it's about something else? How did you walk into that and discover that?
I think it was, um, I think having a rewarding experience on a daily basis
Hmm.
uh, is priceless. And I know for a fact, going to education, you're not going to be a millionaire. Right? And if someone is coming in there for that purpose, it's the wrong reason,
Hmm.
right? You go in, I went in there to see how can I inspire? How can I motivate? How can I share my experience, that is not a straight line experience, to where I ended up. You know, I the I think it was, more than one light bulb moment,
Hmm.
but for me it was just giving back, you know. Um how can I really make an impression, on the students, but also the people that I work with. It was automatically when I got into education, I always say, okay, I'm teaching, but I'm more than a teacher, right? I've counseled a lot of people.
Hmm.
I don't have a degree for it, but just just knowing life and knowing experience and things. Always have a favorite saying. I say, um, you may not like what I say at times, but I will never steer you wrong.
Hmm.
I will never steer you wrong, right? And it's something that I've lived with, and something that I see many students that I've worked with over the years, and many staff members that I've worked with and lead. And conversations we have is it's a really great feeling that they're so thankful, and it creates for me, you know, the reason that money isn't the most important thing.
Hmm.
Um, of course, it makes something easier, makes some things more comfortable with certain things you're seeking,
Hmm.
right? That's a realist in me. Right? But it's not the end at all. There's so much other things out there. And I think, what I do on a daily basis as an educator and what many others do as educators is that, we're life changers, and that's very
So
powerful.
very true.
I take it very serious.
Yeah. So, then, I'm thinking about all the accolades you have. You're a teacher, you're an engineer, you're a principal, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a coach. With all those, what am I missing?
Well, over the years, I'm not doing all those things right now, but over the years,
Over the years,
over
yeah.
the years. I
Hmm.
mean, currently, right now, like, my main occupation is I'm a principal each and every day.
Hmm.
I was so thrilled to write this book, and this I'll talk about how it came to fruition.
That's
But
what.
I'm also the other thing that I love to do. My other passion is cooking. I'm a caterer.
Oh,
I do
okay.
catering.
See, that was what I was missing.
I'm owning the catering business. And it's it's one thing I always found. Like every time when I came from school and I go into the kitchen, I just kind of forget about what was going on at school for like a couple hours, right? And I get back into it. And it was what I call like a transitional period for me. It's something I've enjoyed since I've like lived in Jamaica, and but now like doing it for people. One of the things I say, I always like making people happy. I like bringing joy, and food, great food. Okay, brings people comfort and joy. So that's something I love to do. I I'm I will not say I'm coaching soccer right now, but that's another thing that I have a 9-year-old loves playing soccer. It's a lot of thing. I always spend a lot of time with him, trying to develop his skill and the team that he plays for. I tell the coach and the leader, I said, I can always inspire kids, but I will never coach my 9-year-old with other kids because it's going to take away, right? So I know that, but I would always give my opinion on how I think the team played, what I think they can do better, what I think they did well. I can always give constructive criticism.
Mhm.
So, I spent a lot of time on the, weekends, with my 9-year-old playing a lot of games and stuff. But that's, I think a lot of the different things that I do that makes me who I am.
And we're going to talk about your book and how that came about. But I know people are wondering what type of foods are you in with your catering business? What kind of foods can they anticipate?
Well, we have West Indian cuisine, but we also really market what we call it, international cuisine. One of my good friends, he's one of our partners, and my wife also. We also do a whole different series of type of desserts. My wife and my daughter, they actually do a lot of those. They're avid bakers, and
That's awesome.
all different type of baked treats, but international cuisine. I mean, anything. If we Spanish, we love Mediterranean, Middle Eastern cuisine, Asian cuisine, West Indian cuisine, African American cuisine. So we're pretty much multi-dimensional. We kind of work with whoever our customers and clients are.
Oh, okay. So you hear that, guys. Now we have to bring in your wife and daughter, right?
Yeah.
About this baking.
Yeah.
And so now let's go and talk about you're also an author. And so
Yes.
let's talk about how you transitioned into, not transitioned, but how you added writing and publishing a book into all the other things that you do and accomplish.
So I started, I would say, writing maybe about 20 years ago. And a lot of it was, I would say, social commentary. Some of it was just, the mood that I'm in, the vibe that I'm feeling. Um, a lot of, there's also pieces, that I write that commemorate, women. It was something that is really uh, just a very important thing that I think a lot of time society kind of put a back burner is how much we commemorate our women and really put them up on a pedestal. And so there's a lot of pieces in my book. That's the backdrop. But you asked, like, how did I find time to write and get this done and get it published? So the writing did not happen over a year period, and I want to put it out there. This has been, a journey, over 20-year journey of me writing, on and off. I did performances. I would say maybe, let me try to see, probably about 15, 18 years ago. I used to do open mic. and
Okay.
I think when my daughter was born, we just got kind of busy, and I was coaching at that time as well. So kind of still wrote, but didn't perform anymore. And I want to tell you exactly how it happened because I came home. It was last year in the spring, and when I had a great night, and when I come home, I just can't fall right asleep, kind of wired. So listen to some music. I love listening to 80s soft lovers rock, kind of put me in a great mood. And I said, wow, I feel like writing a piece. And it was about just a date, just started writing. And I couldn't stop writing. And I went to school the next day and I couldn't get this like smirk off my face that I have on right now, this like laugh. And one of my teacher leaders, really good friend, she said, "What is going on with you today?" And I said, "I can't just wait. I can't wait to get home to write this piece. I can't wait to get home." And she said, "You write?" And I said, "Yeah, I actually have poetry books." And she said, "No, you don't." So I said, "Okay, I'm gonna bring them in." I brought the books in the next day. She started laughing and she said, "Oh my gosh, you do write. But your books are all tethered right now. It looks like water damage. You need." So I said, "Stop." So I said, "Do you want to hear a few pieces?" She said, "Of course." I probably read about 3 pieces, and she said, you need to write these out. You need to write them down. You need to share them." So she gave me a challenge. She said, "Okay, I need you to work on this." So I said, you know what? I've tried to write them out before. I've thought about publishing before, but timing, whatever, never. So over I think the spring and over the summer, very busy spring. So during the summer, I started writing them down and really had the best summer I've ever had since being in education. Like
That's awesome.
it did so much like good for my spirit and gave me a chance to like kind of slow down and really think hard about, why I'm here and, all the different reasons why, I'm going to publish this book. So at this point, school started in September. I was finished writing them out. I kept talking to her during the summer, just a few edits I made. And I returned to school and I'm all set with writing out all the poems. And I said, you know what? I feel like doing a performance. I want to do a performance because I haven't done one in a while.
Mhm.
Um, I did a little theater in my background. So when I was in high school and a little bit in college.
Mhm.
So I I started telling a few people, "Hey, I'm going to have this poetry reading. My sister, she's in theater. She's also a nurse and also in education." And she said, "Well, I will MC the event." So I started telling her, started telling a few people. I came back to school. There was another lady I work with, Dr. Jackie Phillips, and I was saying, "I'm doing a poetry, I'd like you to come." And she said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "What are you talking about your poetry reading? You mean your book launch?" And I said, "No, I haven't written a book." And she said, "No, no, your book launch." And she said, "Where are your pieces? Have you written them out or so?" I said, "Yeah, they're all on my computer." And I showed it her like this. She said, "Let's go to your office." I went to my office and I showed her the pieces. I said, "Read through a few." She read through a few. She read through two. She said, "We need to do a backwards plan from October 26th, from when my book launch was, and this was probably about September 13th or so. So
Wow.
from September 13th to October 26th, I actually produced the soft, nice cover, the
Wow.
summary, acknowledgement, dedication. Most of the poems are all set. That's how the book came to fruition. And
Wow.
it's like I really like telling that story because, at no point, before I said I'm going to publish a book.
Mhm.
I think, so when she said that and she read through a few of the pieces and we just had some deep conversation. One of the pieces I wrote in here was inner city paradox. And it's just like a reflection on, living in an urban area and how, the impact of some of the things that we're dealing with, especially people of color, which I don't really like that term, um, is impacted, by the past. So she paused and she asked me a few questions like, what inspired to write that? And from right then I said, I know I did the right thing. The other question she asked me, she said, "Are you ready to put yourself out there?" Right? And
Okay.
that's something that I also have to grapple with. And I'm also, as much as I'm a public figure as a principal, I try to be as private as possible.
Yeah.
Right. But I told her, I said, the timing is right. It needs to be shared for many reasons.
Mhm.
You know, one of the things I explored in the book, and it's after writing down all the pieces and putting it all together and seeing the different themes that formulated, created the sections. And throughout, several sections, the book is speaking to men and, directly to men and how, we peruse relationships
Mhm.
or ideas on how to better peruse a relationship.
Yeah.
It's also one of the things I know, and this is experience as a man, but just also, being, well read, is it's hard and difficult and challenging at times for men to express their real true feelings.
So true.
And I know as a black man, I think it's even more complex. So, you know, there's several pieces in here, that really look at how we battle our own emotions. There are, there are dark places that, we all enter at times.
Mhm.
But I also try to, inform, our men that there's always light. There's always light.
Right.
You know, how we seek it, how we go about it may be different from one to another, but there is light. It's just how we find it at times. So I do, and one of the last, not last, because there's other things, for men, but um, there's also a topic that, we really kind of dodge at times, and it's intimacy. It's talking about intimacy. It's something that, we try to keep way back here or deep down here, but I really explore that in one of the sections,
Mhm.
and try to express it, that is so vivid that you can live in the moment. You
Right.
can live in the experiences that's in these pieces.
Because I think, and I'm just speaking from a female perspective, that sometimes men get angry in order not to show emotion, you know, and so making and I hear a lot of conversation now about men and expressing emotions, and that it's okay, you know, this thing about don't show emotions because you're a man, and man up, that kind of thing.
Yep.
That is becoming a thing of the past, and I think that's really important, especially in our young men. And there's always already so much anger out there that just releasing some of that, um, trying to be hard, and that it's okay to be who you are, is really important. So I commend you. One of the other things that I find that is so fascinating about you in this book is when you celebrate women. And we have so many men out here who love to call women out their name, and demean us, and all kind of negative things about the female. And instead of celebrating who we are and the strength that we do have to be supportive to our men. So, having someone who you are speaking out loud about it, that it's okay for you to be able to express your emotion, celebrate those women, hold them up on the pedestal, which we should be. So, I commend you on that. But now the other thing about your book, everybody, I met Leo through our Power Music Radio. Our community liaison is Belinda Samuel, and she has an organization called Breakthrough to Wellness. And Belinda sent me a message. She sent me a text message. She didn't tell me anything about you. She just said, you need to talk to Leo, and he's a principal at Thurman Milner School. He wrote a book. You need to have a conversation with him. And so I said, okay, I followed it up because I trust her 100%. She was so right. And so when I first talked to Leo, we just talked about you. I'm laughing because the reactions I had was so funny. I'm a silly person. So I talked to you, and you were talking about being a principal, but we didn't talk details about your book other than that, you have written, and you gave some background on why you wrote it and everything. And then you sent me the book, and I opened the book and I started reading, and I was like, whoa, hold on, this is not the person. Because you know how you imagine a person, you visualize what that person is. I hadn't seen what you look like. We didn't do a face-to-face. So you put a picture together of the person and the personality. And you are so much deeper than that. So when I was reading his poems, some of the poems I was reading, and I was like, you ever heard the term wax lyrical?
Yes.
You ever heard that term? That was the first thought that came to my mind. And I said, this man is writing a song, an R&B old school song. and I told you about that. And
Yes, you did.
so my question is, you guys, you got to read his book. It is absolutely fascinating. But the question is, are you going to publish some of those poems and put them into music?
Ronnie, you are so ahead of me. So I did the book launch, and one of my friends, they're DJs, and he actually captured all the audio, and it was a great performance. Let me say,
Oh,
right? I'm
good.
actually I was told that I need to do some more, which I am planning.
Awesome.
Um, so he said, Leo, are you going to do an audiobook? Are you want a backdrop of some music? So that's the next step. I actually wrote
That's
a number
awesome.
of next step, and I have no time and date on it, but you're absolutely right. You mentioned like the backdrop, it brings us like a R&B song, and
Mhm.
like I said, I like creating pictures. I like telling stories. I think sometimes that's so missing, and sometimes in a lot of today's music,
Mhm.
there's great music coming out every day, but just that art of storytelling and painting that picture and having that person being drawn into the experience, and that is something that when I write, I have to have in the back of my mind.
So do you have music um in the back? Like, do you hear music when you're writing?
Oh yes, there. Like I said, there are certain based on pieces that I'm writing. If I'm writing like a sensual piece,
Hmm.
right? Um, there's certain mellow music that just channels. Whether I'm listening to it like currently or it's playing while I'm thinking about the next verse or words to put on paper.
Hmm.
But music is huge and very influential in my writing. Um,
You could tell.
yeah, and there's also like I said, there are pieces that I write that um it's calling for action. It's calling for action.
Hmm.
That wake up. It's time for us to do more.
Yeah.
Um, there's different songs and different tone and tunes
Hmm.
that enter my mind space, to push that piece out. But very very inspirational music is to me.
So, one of the shows that we have on Power Music is called Voices of the Community. And in that segment, I play music that's socially relevant and there's talks and there's interviews, conversations in there that play out every day. And one of my most challenging things is to find socially relevant music that's clean, because a lot of times people now express themselves and they put all kinds of stuff in their music, and it's something that I don't want to play out. And so I'm always looking for pieces where it can talk about things that we need to do, should be doing, have done, because it's all about our past and everything, and to be able to put it into that segment. So I know that there's some pieces in your book that once you put it to music, it's going to come and join Power Music's
Absolutely,
itinerary. So, um,
absolutely.
and so, Leo, everybody, you're listening to Power Music Radio. I'm Ronnie Sanders talking to Leonardo Watson, author of a book called Dimensions of L.A.W. And is it L.A.W. or the word law?
It's L.A.W. So it's my Leonardo Antonio Watson, and dimensions is just a many aspect, of who I am and the different things like I like to
Definitely.
create. Yeah. So um and that's the thing is when I write, it's rare. I may just start with a topic. I
Mm.
just start writing. And sometimes, I do start with a topic and, go from there. But um it's it's just a different for me dimensions and just the visual of the book. The visual of the book, some people may say, well, you may be all over the place, but
Mhm.
it's all thematic and it's all pieces that, will resonate, with you or hoping, definitely a wider audience.
Mhm.
Um, it was this experience, honestly, it gave me even more confidence, in different things I can do and pursue. And it has also, allowed me to, meet, new people. I never knew Ronnie before this, and it was through a mutual friend. So, that's something that, I wish, hope to continue and, keep on, bringing as, much people into this work as possible.
Mhm. So if a person picks up your book, and you know how we like to peruse the book and we look at the back cover, front cover. I'm a person who likes to read the ending before I read the beginning of a book. But some people like to look at the middle of the book, right? So if somebody picked up your book, what page would you direct them to read first? What is your favorite piece in your book that you want people to go and look at?
I'm happy you asked me that. I think my favorite piece in the book, there's a lot of favorite pieces, but the one I always go to, it's in section 5.
Mhm.
No, let me start over. See, I even got that wrong. It's in section 4, and it's entitled. The section is entitled "Soul of a Woman," and the piece is called "Gorgeous Princess."
I like that.
Right,
Yeah.
and "Gorgeous Princess" is how I feel about women. Now, reading it through,
Hmm.
and if you don't mind, just a few lines, just a few lines.
Hmm.
Gorgeous princess, stunning is an understatement. Her inner and outer traits, enlightenment. Her voice, diction, fulfillment. She is pure quality, a rare commodity, a different pedigree. Face so damn pretty, a real cutie. Her lips juicy, nose never needs surgery, cheek and chin perfect symmetry. Eyes are dreamy, naturally hazy, skin smooth like a baby, body slightly curvy, hair is healthy, essence and fragrance heavenly, the shape of your belly sexy. Many want to touch you delicately, passionately. She walks graciously, a gorgeous beauty, walking trophy. Stunning is an understatement. Her inner and outer traits, enlightenment. Her voice, diction, fulfillment. What an accomplishment. Always deserve acknowledgement. Standing out, prominent. She is confident, ready for abashment, more excitement, or a quiet evening, sipping wine, looking and feeling fine, one of a kind, any man's greatest find. All want to claim she is mine. Smiles when looking from behind. Whiteness of your teeth always shine, looking so tasty like grapes on a vine. Firm thighs, strong spine, distinct body lines, a magnificent sign. Stunning is an understatement. Her inner and outer traits, enlightenment. Her voice, diction, fulfillment. Gorgeous princess, you're not ordinary, quite extraordinary, exemplary. Your booty, natural beauty, strong mentally, knows how to vibe socially, romantically, dresses fashionably, always impress, clothes you want to undress, skin you want to caress, absolutely the best. Continue to address this gorgeous princess whose style and aura never regress, always progress, she is blessed. Nothing she wears is an excess, never in duress, she is finesse, gorgeous princess.
That's
So
beautiful.
I didn't mean to read the whole thing, but when I get into it, I get into it. And I said, hey, I can.
It needed to be read completely. That's
Okay.
beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. And just think how many women are, you just, because I started smiling, because that having
I,
someone think about me in that manner, that is truly, respect. So yeah.
I tell you, I will say it again. I commemorate women. I love bringing smile to women face. Part of the dedication is and I'll leave it at it because it is truly how I feel. And I said, part of the dedication of the book, it says, to our women who have added so much light to our world, continue to shine, right?
Awesome.
Or smile, I should say.
Exactly. So Leo,
Yes.
it has been such a pleasure spending time with you and having this conversation today. Definitely, you have to come back when you do another event. Please come back and talk about it, let everybody know that you're going to be putting something together. And so
Sounds
people
good.
can attend if they, are into this, because I think a lot of people I would really enjoy hearing you read more of your poems and stories, because I consider them stories as well, because you have a meaning to what you're writing. So yeah, definitely appreciate you. So
Thank you.
now we kind of talked about what's next. You're gonna be putting some poems to music and everything. Anything else on your horizon that you want to share with everybody?
I just wherever whenever I actually, have some dates coming up for some additional performances, just publicly sharing that.
Mhm.
I'm always looking for, any a book event that's going on, to always keep on pushing, my work.
Right.
Um, I wrote down some next steps. One of the things is, thanks to Ronnie, like just getting the word out as much as possible. Um, you know, I'm always I'm always looking for opportunity. And I'm always open to any type of speaking engagement as well. So just those are some of the things that's on the horizon right now, as far as the book is concerned.
Awesome. And how can people connect with you? And how can people find your book?
Good question. So you can always connect with me through my email. It's Leonardo Watson at yahoo.com. Kind of exactly how my name is spelled, Leanardo at yahoo.com. Um, I actually, do have my book available on Shopify. Do have my own Shopify store, but it's also available in Amazon. If you love books and just put in the title, Dimensions of Law, you could actually, get a copy there. We'll also, when we do air, we can also have the Shopify and Amazon link posted directly. But easiest way, Amazon, look at Dimensions of Law, look at books, and it'll pop up. Shopify probably be a little bit hard to get to because it's like my store. But I share that link. Those I have autographed copies of those. Um, but again, to get in touch with me, just my email again, Leonardo Watson at yahoo.com. And my phone number, I'll leave that as well.
Okay.
860-817-3899. Again, it's 860-817-3899. And Leonardo Watson, whatever it is, I'm always here.
Now, social media, you're not on
Yes,
Facebook and stuff?
yeah, I'm on Facebook. Let's look up Leonardo Watson again, just on Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and I'm I'm getting more used to Facebook, but I definitely do a lot of promotions on Facebook. Like, for example, just with this conversation, one of the things I said, I'll go on there and said, definitely give a thank you to Power Music Radio and Ronnie, and stay in tune, Facebook and family. It will be coming out soon. I'm very excited, and then I'll also put like my post to like where they can get the book and stuff, and I'll probably run that for like another, month and keep on always refreshing it and stuff. But those are kind of the media platforms I'm on.
And so now we are going to, in this particular conversation, like I said, it's a pleasure having you here. But Leo, before you go, one of the things I'll always ask people that sit down with me is, and especially with the way the world is today, every time you talk to somebody, you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on with this world today. That's kind of the attitude. What would you say to someone who is out here and they're struggling mentally, physically? What advice would you give them to bring them to the state of positivity and excitement and energy that you have? What's some advice for everyone?
Really good question. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, hard things, but one of the conversations I have with many people is sometimes we can't predict the situation that we're in. But if you can just start with one thing. Start with one thing that make you feel better about yourself, or start with one thing that you believe will make the situation a bit better.
Mhm.
We know mental health is plaguing a lot of people in our community. And I think one of the things also is I always will have conversations with people and just having them acknowledge that, you're not alone. You're not alone. There's support there for you.
Mhm.
I may be that person to support you, but even if I can't, I know someone, or I know someone to connect you with.
Mhm.
I it's very hard at times when people are like, stuck on their luck that they can't see in front of them. So it's it's hard work, it's challenging work, but it's work that needs to be done, for someone like me or someone else to just, not be overbearing, but just one thing. What's one thing you can do? What's one thing maybe I can help you with that's going to make you feel better about a situation, about yourself? And
Mhm.
sometimes, even if they're not be able to think about it, you already have some ideas on how. That's kind of how, I go about, supporting and helping others and listening and always listening.
Great. That's nice. And it's so relevant nowadays. Take that first step,
Mm.
and you'd be amazed at how that much that will make a difference. So everybody, that was some words of L.A.W. And I'm going to give Leo back his day. I know you got lots of
Thank
things
you.
on your agenda that you have to complete today. So you're listening to Power Music Radio, everybody. I am Ronnie Sanders, and I'm saying thank you so much,
Thank you.
Leonardo Watson, for joining us today with this conversation. Now you can make sure to check out Power Music Radio at www.powermusic, and music is spelled with a Z, MUZIC, radio.com. And while you're on the website, you can listen live and also check out the Power Club, register for the Power Club, receive a free gift, and you'll be automatically enrolled into the birthday club. So you want to make sure you do that. On Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, we are the PMR Crew. Crew is spelled with a K, Krew. And, two unique spellings for what I hope is a very unique radio station. So it was a pleasure talking with you, Leo, and you will be back. Thank
Thank you. Ronnie, have a
you.
great rest of your day and a great weekend.
I appreciate you.
And thank you everyone for listening.